The Trump administration is seeing a mass exodus of legal talent. More than 10,000 government lawyers have left since the beginning of 2025, according to a New York Times analysis. Now, as one former lawyer put it, it's leaving some agencies without the staff to get stuff done. But President Trump is calling this a very good thing, writing on Truth Social, quote, "The people who are leaving are radical left deep state lunatics who are destroying our country." Joining us now, Jim Messina, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations and campaign manager for Obama's 2012 re-election campaign. MS Now senior legal reporter Lisa Rubin is here in studio with me. Lisa, just can you even quantify what the real-life consequences are of losing 10,000 government lawyers?
It's staggering, Chris. And in some departments, according to the New York Times, that loss is particularly pernicious. I'm just looking at a chart that they put together with their reporting. The Education Department, for example, has lost more than 50% of their lawyers between December of 2024 and March of 2026. That means at certain of these departments, there are not enough lawyers to just get the basic work of the department done. And of course, we have been covering here at MS Now for many months the decimation of career ranks at the Department of Justice. This is taking a much broader look at the federal government as a whole. The Justice Department actually falls fairly low on this list in terms of departments that have lost lawyers. They're down 21%. But across the whole government, the federal government, the loss of these lawyers means a loss of expertise that really matters. And, you know, I hear that the president is saying that radical leftists are now out of the government. I'm not sure how many radical leftists were lawyers at the Agriculture Department, but, you know, maybe he can tell us differently.
Yeah, Jim, according to the New York Times, a lot of the lawyers interested in public service are now going instead to the offices of Democratic state attorneys general, to nonprofits that are challenging the administration's policies in court. You got to wonder if this could backfire in more ways than one.
Boy, you really do. You know, when I was Deputy Chief of Staff at the White House, you realize across government, you have the finest career people that you can possibly imagine who are spending their life making way less than they could in the private sector because they believe in America. And you also realize you can't get anything done in these places without good lawyers. And hollowing out the legal talent across the entire spectrum of the government, to Lisa's point, it's not just DOJ, it's all over the place. And now what you're seeing is these organizations can't get anything done. What is the number one thing voters want? They want government to work again. They want government to move fast. They want government to care about them. None of that is happening when you hollow out these ranks. And to your point, where you're actually seeing the real work done on holding this administration accountable is it now the state attorneys generals. And so a lot of them went to the state attorneys generals and said, hey, let me continue my work with you. And I think that's been a very good thing. And you're seeing the state attorney generals actually hold Donald Trump accountable for his actions.
Is this the kind of thing that's messageable on the campaign trail, Jim? I mean, if Democrats, let's say, regain power, do they talk about how to fix it? Is the goal simply to restore the federal government to what it was like before Trump? Or could this be an opportunity to talk about building something new and, one would hope, better?
It's absolutely an opportunity. Part of what Democrats have to be seen as people that can reform government, that can make government move faster, that can make government produce things for the American public. And this gives us an opportunity to say, hey, how do we reimagine this? Whoever the next president of the United States is going to walk into a completely broken government. And that'll be a really difficult task. But it's also an opportunity, Chris, to reimagine it and make it move faster and better.
What's harder to rebuild? Here's a Rubik's Cube of a question, Jim. Public trust in government or talented people willing to work there?
Both. And the problem is you can't restore trust if you don't have talented people. You know, Barack Obama always says, he's like, I want people around me who get things done, who are doers. And now we have a whole lot less doers that can reform government. And I think that is a very big challenge. Even if you have all the best intentions in the world, as Lisa well knows, you still need really competent people around you who can get this stuff done. And we just got rid of tens of thousands of them at exactly the wrong time.